Hey guys, welcome back to the Fatal Wrath channel. We got the tier list here. Yes, we finally have the tier list done. I know it took me a little bit. I was a little busy, but we managed to get it done, and this is the definitive final tier list for TMNT Legends. Now, I want to go over a little bit of an explanation here. This is based off of Effdash's definitive tier list for the most part. And I have different tiers that do not include plus and minus systems. So this is going to be just a little bit different. For the worst and awful characters, that's going to be our D tier, where he was using C and C minus. For the niche and bad, that's our C tier, or with him the C plus B minus. The decent and fine characters are under the B tier, or the B and B plus. The good and great are under the A tier, or the A and A minus. The incredible and amazing under the S tier, or the S minus A plus. And then I got a new tier section here for the best characters and phenomenal characters. SS rank for the S and S plus. So that is how this is going to be categorized. Now that we have thoroughly confused you, let's take a look at the characters themselves. Alright, so this is the tier list based off of what Effdash put together. Now, for the most part, he was putting it in alphabetical order, and I kept it that way. But then I also kept the photos of each character in order as well, too. So, for example, when you go to the S plus and the S, you'll see from Classic Mikey, Justin, Larprath, Usagi, and then it goes to the next section of characters where I guess what he was using was the S, so it's Armagon, Bunnies, and Krang. So that's how we put this one together, just to keep it in order and also to keep it in alphabetical order for each section as well too. So it pretty much matches up to him. Now we're going to go over what I feel is different and my own opinion. As you can see down here at the bottom, I do have some characters that are pending. Classic Leo, Classic Shredder, Pigeon Pete, Zeck, and Nick Shredder. Forgot to mention him. So, I kind of have a different spot where these guys are going to go. We're going to start off with Classic Leo. I think he's great. Originally, he was put in with the A tier section. I honestly think he deserves to be an S tier. That's my opinion. So I'm going to stick him right up here in the list. We got to move over there. Okay. And since we're sticking to alphabetical order, he's going to go ahead of the LARP Leo. Now I know Alapex does start with an A, but that's for the next section with his plus and minus system. Like I said, I'm still keeping the photos in order, and then it's going in alphabetical order after that. This is a way of looking at the tier list without the plus and minus system. So if you're just relying on S, A, B, C, D, this is what you got. My opinion, that's where Classic Leo goes for me. He has won the voting game, and he has been talked about many times about almost reaching S tier. And I got convinced myself that I think he needs to go in S tier. So in this list that we're looking at, that's where he's going. We got Classic Shredder, well, Nick Shredder next. We got to do Nick Shredder first. I know we all want to talk about Classic Shredder, but we got Nick Shredder first. And they wanted to stick him in C tier. I want to put him in A tier for the fan base that likes him so much. Hope I'm not the only one. And since we're going in alphabetical order, we're going to need to place him somewhere else on here. So let's put him in the alphabetical order where he needs to go. We'll put him right there. Yeah, because then we're talking about original Leo. Well, yeah. Yeah, original Leo. So original Leo would show up after Nick Shredder. So that's where we're going to place him. I'm going to put him in A tier because I use him for my team, which is, I made a video out of this for the best team in Legends, in my opinion. And I'm going to put that at the end card here so you can watch it. Although many of you have watched it, and I appreciate that. But he is a part of that team, and that's why I think he needs to be ranked a little higher than what he does. I mean, he's got a great heal, and he really helps out the team that I have him to be a part of. And Shredder is just awesome. I mean, we're not going to discard him at all. You can disagree with me. That's fine. Next, we're going to talk about Pigeon Pete. And him, I got to bring him down a notch. I can't get him above the B tier. And since we're putting him in alphabetical order, sounds about right. He'd be ahead of Rat King, right? I think so. So we'll put him over there. I can't get behind putting this guy in A tier. I just can't. People have explained to me, that he does a lot of stuff that Nick Michelangelo does. But out of all the Mutanimals, in my opinion, he's not the best out of them all. The other Mutanimals can get better than him. So, you can put Pigeon Pete on the same ranking as the other Mutanimals if you want to, as the rest of them are. But I just can't get behind it. I'm sorry. I can't. So, for the tier list, that's where Pigeon Pete is going to go. We're going to talk about Zeck. And I believe he was placed in B tier. Zeck used to be in D tier, kind of right along with Rat King. But I think Rat King has definitely earned his promotions. I just don't think that Zeck has. Am I going to put him in D tier? No. We'll put him space above, and since we're keeping in the alphabetical order, we'll put him right there at the tail end under C. That's where we're going to have Zeck. That's where I'm placing him. I just can't get behind it when he was in D tier, then now he suddenly rises up so much higher. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. If you guys see it, that's fine. You want to tell me different, that's fine. I just don't see it. Okay? I just can't get behind it. So that's where I'm placing him. That's about the best I can do for that. And, it is what it is. Lastly, I want to talk about the best. Classic Shredder. He's the best in the game. All the Usagi fans are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. But he is the best in the game. I'm not going to put him in S- or an S. I'm going to put him in S+. So if we're talking alphabetical order, I'm putting Classic Shredder right up there. But he is the best. And I'll debate that with anybody for however long you want it debated for. So here we are. This is the definitive tier list found on the Fatal Wrath channel. Not using pluses or minuses, and using the SABCD version with newly added SS. To match that chart that I had on here earlier, then you can go back and see the chart if you want to. So that's what I'm basing it off of. Effdash has his tier list with pluses and minuses. I have mine without. And we only disagree on a handful of characters. So whether you're talking to him about who to use, or you're talking to me about who to use, these is where our opinions are going to differ just a little bit. But overall, this is what the tier list really should look like when you're looking at my tier list and when you're looking at his tier list. This is what it is. If anybody else has these guys any much too far apart than this, then they haven't done their research. And they need to go back and research it better than what they did. All right. Well, there you have it. The tier list for what it is. I'll make sure to post a copy of this in the Legends guide for everybody to view. And now we have the final tier list for what it is. So there's no more editing. There's no more drafts. There's no more discussing of it. This is what it is. And we can talk more about it in the Discord. So join us there. Thank you for watching.